Hi everyone, my name is Bob Gower with bobcanhelp.com. I am also an Agile coach with Rally Software. And today I want to talk to you about pulling work and the importance of building an organization where individuals are allowed to pull work or enabled to pull work. And to me, this is a real key to quality. It's also a real key to employee retention, attracting and retaining the best talent. And it's actually a key to lowering your costs and lowering your risks overall. So let's describe kind of the way things get normally done in a lot of organizations. I work with a lot of big software companies, and this is what I see very often when I walk into an organization. Is I see a resource, and we often call these individuals resources, and rather than that, I like to call them people, individuals. If you've ever been referred to as an allocated resource, you know how sort of dehumanizing it can feel. It never feels that good, and it actually leads to some dysfunction in the organization. So let's look at how a resource often gets allocated, and they often get allocated like this, which means they get carved up. Their time, their effort, their energy, their creativity gets carved up, often among 3 or more projects. I see this happen all the time, and we'll say, well, this project is really important over here, so we'll say 50%. And then we have a couple other projects that also need her talents, and we'll say 25% for each of those. But what happens is the managers of each of these projects aren't really content with just asking for the amount of time that's given, and often they don't even have a window into it. They have no way of really understanding how much is 50% if I'm going to ask for something, and so they end up actually asking for, say, 75%. They ask for 50%, and so all of a sudden, this poor individual contributor, who is often, fairly low ranking in the organization, and often sometimes somewhat, introverted, because this is the style of work they do. But they feel like they have this work shoved on them, and then what they'll do is they will sacrifice their own personal happiness and sustainability. They'll stay up late. They'll work nights. They'll work really hard in order to please the people they work for, because really that's what they want to do. Is they want to please. They want to produce good work. And then the first thing that goes is really the personal sustainability of this individual as she tries to keep up. And the second thing to go is the quality, is that as she rushes through this work, is the quality of her work is really going to suffer. And as a manager, I used to do this all the time, is I would ask for, say, 50% more than I thought I was going to get, and I thought that was how I would motivate the people who worked for me. What I found is over the years, and one of the reasons I got attracted to Agile is because it really advocates a model where we honor that this individual really wants to contribute, that they really want to do good work, and if we enable that, and we can enable that in a couple ways. The first is by ordering and telling them, this is what's important to work on, and the second is by giving them an environment that's conducive to work. Really, if you do those two things, often you're going to get the best work out of people. You're going to way better work out than when you're trying to cram a bunch of work through, sort of through a pipeline here. So this is what we're talking about, is instead of having that individual contributor sort of be parsed out, what we do is we parse the work out into an interleaved and stack ranked backlog. And so in this backlog, the priorities of those projects get represented. And then what we allow is we ask this person to then pull that work off of the backlog one thing at a time. The piece on the top is most important, the piece next is next most important, and so forth. And if we do this in a time box iteration, even better, so she can sort of say, well, in the next 2 weeks, this is what I'll commit to, this is what I'll get done. We find that she's going to do better work, she's going to feel more empowered, more autonomous, which is really a key to productivity and to motivation. And if we give her a small group of people to work with, and they're actually doing this collaboratively and self-organizing, doing this together, so much the better. We're going to get really the best work out of people in this kind of environment. So again, my name is Bob Gower. bobcanhelp.com is my website. Please leave some comments there. Let me know what you're thinking, and let me know how this kind of lands for you, and if you found it helpful. I'm also an Agile coach with Rally Software, and I look forward to hearing from you in your comments. Thanks.